to celebrate the love that we truly are by starting off with One Great Power by Robert Anderson. Clearly you have come back because there's something you're getting out of being here, right? And so who wants to shout out the one thing that we come together to celebrate, to remind ourselves of, to remind each other of? What is it that we are championing here?
Love.
Love! Fantastic, that's right. So in New Thought, specifically here at the Victoria Truth Center, what we teach is that there's one thing going on. Call it whatever you want to call it, whatever it is that works for you. Most of the time here, we're calling it love. And because there's only one thing going on, that means everyone and everything is that. Not just sometimes, not just a little bit, but always all of it. So each and every one of us is this incredible, amazing, energetic, divine flow that is the very essence, that is the very beingness, that is the very inception of everyone and everything that is, was, and ever will be. So each and every one of us is love. So how does that sound?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Great.
Good, right? We need more good in our lives, okay? So as we celebrate love, we also celebrate and revere where we are celebrating that love. That we are gathered here today on the unceded lands of the Lekwungen-speaking people, the Songhees and Esquimalt nations. And we're so, so grateful and feel so blessed to be able to do so. To be able to embrace values like forgiveness, love, respect, honesty, and courage, knowing that as we do, the love that we truly are, that is the interconnectivity and activity of everyone and everything, just shines that much more fully, richly, deeply, and luminously for all to behold. Haisha. So now we're moving on to some more music, and feel free to sing along if you like. What an absolute gift, what an absolute blessing it is to be right here, right now. And so in feeling that flow of love, in feeling that divine givingness of spirit to and of itself, I'm so grateful to know that our time together today is founded and grounded in love, in beauty, in harmony, in grace. And as our time together expands, so does our awareness of the love that we are. As our community grows, so does the love that we are at our core. And so I'm grateful for every opportunity there is to gather, to remind ourselves, to enrich our beingness with and as that infinite expanse of universe, spirit, source, God, whatever it is that works for you, to lean into that, to embrace that, to show up as that every moment of every day. And so knowing that right here, right now, that there is that in each and every individual that is opening up and falling into the arms of love, I'm so grateful for every single opportunity there is to do more of that. So in gratitude, I release my word as long, knowing that our time together continues to unfold, to emerge, to radiate as the love that each and every one of us is, as the love that is the very beingness of all that is, was, and ever will be. So I release, I let go, I trust, and I know, and so it is. So just taking a breath as we transition into a bit of discussion today. Another week of letting go. Another week of leaning into what does letting go mean? What does surrender mean? What does it mean to release whatever it is that no longer serves? Well, there's an affirmation there that can kind of help us out with that. I let go and I let love. And love with a capital L. So not just love the feeling, love the emotion, but the love that we are at our core. The love that is infinite, eternal, boundless, limitless. That is the intelligence and wisdom of everyone and everything. When we let go of pain, of anger, of fear, of despair, of whatever negative feelings we might be entertaining, which is not to say that we don't pay attention to them, but when we let go of them, then we literally open up to be able to hold on to more of the love, to receive more of the love, to give more of the love that we truly are. So I'd love to know from one or two, maybe three people, what is letting go looking like for you? What does that affirmation mean right here, right now, in this moment? Ken, at the back there.
When something happens,
Into the mic.
when something happens to you and it bothers you, you really need to make a comment to the person or people who have done it. You don't do it because you realize that nothing will be achieved by it other than creating more hurt. But you bottle it up. You don't tell them how you feel, how you were hurt. But the reality of letting go and realizing that not saying something was the best thing in a lot of ways to do at that moment, and then figure out a way how what happened can be transpired in a very positive way. And by letting go, it isn't chewing at you inside and hurting you for no reason other than you seem to want to do it just so you can feel miserable.
Beautifully put, Ed. Thank you. Thank you.
True story.
I'd wondered, had a feeling. But yeah, everything that you just said there, I mean, there is a saying, many variations, one of them credited to Nelson Mandela, that holding on to resentment is like giving poison, taking poison and expecting the other person to die, right? Like the person that is hurting in the end is yourself, right? So beautifully, beautifully said, and to just sort of like give pause and realize that maybe right now it's not the best time to, and then later coming from love, but at the same time letting go to not have it, eat away at you. Amazing.
Especially when the people involved you truly care about.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else? Gail would like to share.
Letting go of two things came up for me this week. Is this on?
Yes.
Letting go of needing to be right.
Ooh, good one.
And letting go of the things that we cannot change. We've got the Serenity Prayer up in our kitchen, and that's facing me all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It was in the last chapter of the David Hawkins book. It's right in there. Yeah, beautiful. The shoes. I mean, who here can relate to the wanting to be right and having to needing to be right? My husband and I have a sort of saying: do you want to be right or do you want to be friends? Okay.
my dear wife says, choose your battles.
Yep. Okay. All right, so time for one more quick share before we move on.
I think letting go is kind of like forgiveness also.
Sure.
Do you want to explain a little bit about that, Drew?
Well, letting go is like forgiveness, and what you said about letting go. It just if you don't, it eats away at you, and that's kind of like forgiveness. Also, it's not you don't forgive the person, you forgive yourself. So you're forgiving what you have problems with, and just if they want to forgive themselves or whatever, it's not for them, it's for you.
Yeah. Which really ties into personal responsibility, which is one of the things that we teach in New Thought, right? That no one outside of us is to blame for anything that's going on. I mean, yes, there may have been things that happened in relationship with someone, but ultimately, we are the ones who are choosing, we are the ones who are equal to, we are the ones who are responsible for how we respond and how we move forward. Okay, amazing. Thank you, everyone. May I ask Mariana, is that my cough?
Yes.
No? Okay, thank you. All right, so moving on, Bob has a very special solo that he's going to play for us today. And Bob, do you want to tell us a little bit about it before or after?
Well, I'll talk about it now. It's one that I've sung before, but I believe beautifully ties in to the service here. And the name of the tune will sound familiar because it's called I Surrender. I'm not the one we sing. So here we go. I could never show
moving along with more of letting go, David Hawkins' book, Letting Go, the Pathway of Surrender. And the chapter that I read in the last couple of days, fear. Okay, and because I love me some acronyms, you'll notice that fear is an acronym, not just a word up there, all right? Fear matters is the title of my talk, and we can take it in a couple of ways, like fear matters, like it materializes, and then there are the matters of fear, okay? So I'm going to start off with a quote from David Hawkins. What one holds in mind tends to manifest, okay? Is that something new here? Any thought which we consistently hold in mind and consistently give energy to will tend to come into our life according to the very form in which our mind has held it. A very simple way of saying this, thoughts are things, okay? Whatever we think, whatever we hold in mind, especially if we give energy, if we give passion, if we give desire, if we give fear to it, is going to become our life experience. Now, fear, when he's talking about this in the chapter, and fear, if you look at those two eggs at the front there, here's some acronyms for that kind of fear. False emotion appearing real, failure expected and received, fighting ego against reality. And reality in this case is like big R reality, as in big T truth, big S self. This is about the absolute. This is about the allness. This is about that one thing that is going on that each and every one of us is, the love. That's the reality that the ego is fighting against, okay? And that's why we're in fear. Now, David Hawkins also writes, we have the unconscious fantasy that fear is keeping us alive. Okay, that if we play small, if we play safe, then nothing is going to hurt us, okay? If we stay afraid and we don't try anything new, then we'll be okay. And yet, fear is what blinds us to the real dangers of life. In fact, fear itself is the greatest danger that the human body faces. It is fear and guilt that bring about disease and failure in every area of our lives. Okay, and that's because I think it's Bessel van der Kolk who wrote the book, The Body Keeps the Score. The body knows, okay? That wisdom, that incredible, amazing, infinite, boundless, limitless intelligence that is everyone and everything, it's in every single cell, system, and organ of our being. It's in every single molecule and atom and interspace of our being. There is a divine blueprint that is in every single aspect of our being that is just, it has all of the information, all of the intelligence, all of the wisdom, all of the plans, the dreams and schemes that we could ever possibly live into. It's all in there, and it's all ours for the recognizing, all ours for the realizing and embracing. And yet, when we lean into fear, the kind of fear at the front there, then we don't see it. That fear keeps us from experiencing that allness, that potentiality that is truly ours to live and become. Now, I've mentioned a few times in talks that part of the coaching work that I do involves the positive intelligence paradigm. And in this Money on the spot because she knows it too. In the positive intelligence paradigm, basically the thinking is that you are either approaching life from a saboteur perspective or from the sage perspective. And the saboteurs, they have come up with 9, are basically tendencies of behavior. So there's perfectionism, there's hypervigilance, there's control, there's 6 other ones that I can't remember right now, but they're all negative per se, okay? Because they're not life affirming, they limit us in some way. And then there's the sage, and the sage is who and what we truly are. Sage is wisdom, sage is peace, sage is compassion, loving kindness, and love. So we're constantly going back and forth between saboteur and sage mode. And just like in the book, when David Hawkins is talking about, you don't have to try and get rid of the fear, the anger, the pain, the hurt, the sadness, the grief, the blame. There's a bunch we haven't even gone through yet. It's not about getting rid of them because they're always going to be there. It's about acknowledging that they're there embracing them, letting them go, knowing that while they're still there, we can still move forward in life anyway. Because who and what we are is so much bigger and more profound than any of that. So in positive intelligence, there's this story of the hand on the hot stove. And when Shazad Shamin, the founder, tells it, he talks about how in their research, it has been shown that if you buy into a negative emotion for more than 1.5 seconds, it is not serving you. Okay? So initially, there is something that, you know, like you could be afraid, you could be angry, you could be sad, you could be hurt, whatever. And if you let it go, okay, fine. But if you glom onto it, if you're buying into it, then you're going to spiral into what we call in science of mind secondary causation. And instead of creating life from and as that infinite expansive universe that is super awesome and amazing and loving and positive and fantastic, you start creating your life experience from everything that's going on around you. From the person who pissed you off that makes you angry to reinforce the anger that exists in you anyway, and then you start finding more evidence to be angry about it. Oh my God, the world is such a crappy place, right? So the hand on the hot stove, you put your hand on the hot stove, accidentally I'm thinking, and generally what happens is, ow, you take it away, right? But what happens, and this is what we do with negative feelings and stories we tell and beliefs we hold on to, we keep our hand on the hot stove. And oh, wow, there's something burning. I'm feeling a little warm. Ooh, there's something uncomfortable. I'm feeling some pain. Oh my gosh, what is it? We're doing everything that we possibly can to sort of like, this is what's happening. And meanwhile, oh my gosh, my hand is a fire. It's burning. It's like gone to a crisp sort of thing. It's a charcoal stubby little stump. If I had just taken my hand off the hot stove, I would still have a hand, maybe some burns and scars to contend with, but at least now I could move forward, you know? But what we do so often is we keep our hand on the hot stove. So, another thing to look at when we're looking at fear is, what's the worst possible thing that could happen? And when it comes to the unconscious, or to ego, or to monkey mind, oh my gosh, we are in the land of drama and hyperbole, okay? The worst thing, oh my God, I have a mosquito bite, it's the worst. I got a paper cut, aren't those the worst? Or when you're driving around, how many times someone cuts you off in traffic, or someone speeds by you, or someone does something, and you have some kind of vision, cartoon-like or something, in your mind of like, plowing into them, or like running them off the road, or getting out of the car, you know, whatever sort of thing. That's what the unconscious does, right? It just blows things out of proportion. But that's actually okay, because that is a completely juvenile and immature part of our mind, okay? I didn't actually write it down, but there's a quote in David Hawkins' book where he says that conscious mind went to prep school, where I think he says that subconscious mind is still living in the jungle and swinging from tree to tree, okay? So the whole point is that we get to choose which part of our mind we are focusing on, which part of our mind we are using when we are doing things like accidentally putting our hand on the hot stove, or being engaged in feelings that might seem negative, like pain, anger, sadness, or fear. And so what we can do is, once we realize that, you know what, all of those feelings are there anyway, they're always existing. I mean, in Science of Mind, we teach the triune nature of God, that there's conscious mind, subjective mind, and there's form. And in the sea of subjectivity are all the thoughts, all the beliefs, all the possibilities that you could ever think, ever, you or anyone else, all the memories. They're all in there, of all time. Everything. There's no avoiding them, right? So we're going to bump up against them every now and then, but we are the ones who are deciding, are we going to bump up against them, put our arm around them, plant a seed, and then, you know, as Tom Costa would say, I think it was Tom Costa, build a condo there, right? So when they come to light and we realize, okay, these things are here, or in positive intelligence, the saboteurs, they're kind of like little tiny kindergartners or toddlers or something. Just give them some crayons and paper to color on, occupy them, and then you can go about your life, you know, more freely. When you bring these things to light, they're not so scary anymore. We don't have to be so afraid of them anymore. And one of the things that David Hawkins says at the beginning of his book is, shift perspective. give something a new context or a new meaning. So if we look at fear and we shift our focus from the front egg to the back egg, I see the back egg laughing its head off. Okay? I see the back egg is going, fear, well, this is what I think of fear. Forget everything and relax. Feeling excited and ready. Face everything and rise, which is one that I use, and I can't remember if it was on a Sunday or a Wednesday, so apologies if I'm repeating myself. But those are a different way of looking at fear, because fear, just like any other emotion, can be treated as information. And if we treat it as information and we get curious about it, we then get to decide how we're going to move forward in spite of the fear that is present in our lives. So here's where we start talking about shifting from fear to love. And in the book, David Hawkins writes, one of the laws of consciousness is fear is healed by love. And when he talks about this, really, he's talking about an attitude, a state of being, an intentional choice of focusing on love rather than sinking down into fear like the front eggs are. So he writes, this attitudinal healing is the same mechanism of healing demonstrated by the great saints and illumined healers whose very presence has the power to heal because of the intense vibration of love which they radiate. Love is a way higher vibration and frequency, way up here. Fear, anger, blame, depression, down here. So if we intentionally shift up to here, and we're all energy according to quantum physics, the more we focus on this, the more we're going to experience this in our life, for ourselves, with each other, for our world. He goes on to say, this healing power, and here's the nugget, the basis of spiritual healing is also transmitted by loving thoughts. So back to thoughts or things. Back to what is it that you're holding in your mind. Back to what is it that you're giving your energy to. Is it fear or is it love? Emma Smiley has a super cute quote in her book, Magnificent Assumption. What we accept in consciousness manifests. We can, if we care to, breakfast on love, lunch on peace, and go to bed happy. Pretty simple, right? So why don't we? Why don't we? And what about the people who haven't experienced love, or the people who have experienced love that gets mixed in with things that aren't in alignment with that wholeness that we are? You know, poverty, abuse, just a few things that come to mind. Well, David Hawkins says, love is intrinsic within all of us. By the very nature of our being, love is who and what we are. And by the very nature of the life energy that flows through us and empowers us to breathe and to think, love is all there is. We all have that same vibrational energy level of love within us. We all have it in us because it's who and what we are. By letting go of the blocks to love, our capacity to love increases progressively, and loving energy has the capacity to heal ourselves as well as others. This is why affirmative prayer works. Affirmative prayer, atomic prayer, spiritual mind treatment, whatever you want to call it. When we pray affirmatively, we are praying as love, as God, as spirit, as that incredible, amazing, infinite, boundless, limitless, intelligent wisdom that is the same power, that is the blazing sun, that is the entire universe, that is all of nature, and is all of this stuff that we're not even aware of. That's how we're praying. That's how we're affirming. And so he asks another great question. Why doesn't the healing power of love last? Because sometimes, right, you can pray, you can be with someone, you can be here on a Sunday, and you're like, woo, yeah, oh, lovey-dovey, this is fantastic, I feel all expanded and up-leveled. You walk out the door, something happens, someone says something, you read something in a book, whatever, and then you go dropping back down to whatever vibrational level you may have been at before, right? The whole thing is, it's about practice. It's about practice and making your life intentional about up-leveling, about focusing on the love that you are instead of on the fear. Just coming back constantly, practice, practice, practice. The people that haven't felt that sustaining love, those are the people that haven't yet learned to elevate. Elevate, that sounds familiar. Wednesdays? Elevate their own consciousness. So the point of my talk today, fear matters, is fear matters, okay? Whatever it is that fear means to you, it materializes in your life. That is what becomes your life experience. So really, it's not the fact that fear matters, it's what type of fear are you going to focus on? Because if thoughts are things, and the energy that we are gives movement and momentum to those thoughts, what kind of thinking and what kind of energy do you want to devote to fear? Do you want it to be stuff like false emotion appearing real, failure expected and received? Oh, that's a good one. Fighting ego against reality? Or do you want to forget everything and relax? Do you want to feel excited and ready? Do you want to face everything and rise? So if we go back to the very, very beginning quote in Meditation by Neil Donald Walsh, fear and guilt are your only enemies. If you let go of fear, fear lets go of you. If you release guilt, guilt will release you. How do you do that? By deciding to. So my question to you today is, what are you deciding to do today? And what kind of fear matters to you most? Thank you, and so thank you. All right, so now we have some time for some conscious conversation, and I would say both sides of the room into two smaller groups because and everybody gets a chance to talk. You have a bit more of an intimate conversation. All right, so we'll have about 7 minutes. Oh, you can stay there. Yeah, that's okay.
Two small groups.
Two small groups.
Fours and threes.
Yeah, just give everybody a chance to talk. Okay. Yeah, you guys can go. Yeah, you guys are threesome?
False evidence.
We're working on it.
False
Here we
evidence.
go. Yeah, kind of sitting on top of each other.
I'm being driven by
That was a good one. The one I really got me was the failure expected and received. I haven't heard that one. I've heard all the other ones. That was a big one for me.
One of the things. One of the things.
Yes. Face everything that was.
Told us to get one that resonates with us and repeat it. So the one I chose, I say it every day, is don't embrace disturbances. Emotional reactions gradually fade away. Which is exactly what she said about the 1.5 seconds. I got really cut off this year. I just, whoa, I let go of it. After 1.5 seconds. I was feeling like every time that happens, I say, oh, why do I do that? Why can't I just send it off? Because that's what we do. We do get that. But you could just throw that after 1.5 seconds. Yes. So that's what's going on.
So you think you're a good writer.
Whatever seems touching me, I think what she said
What does that mean? What?
you see in such a I don't react.
I'm not there.
What was your basis? How many people who were doing did not no, it's like when I was heading out to the mill, or I turned off the TV. You don't have enough for them. Step on the brakes, stop. I can't lay on the horn because it's not worked since I've owned the vehicle. And that's probably a good thing.
Yes.
And out comes the arm outside of the window, don't know where the man or woman in it. Thank you. And you know, I'm thinking, that's very hard. And I know that my grandson was you can see the roof of the car coming in that direction. And not go. Soup road, it's got a little bit of a zigzag. Yes. If you see a vehicle, go.
That wasn't even.
Very elusive.
Yeah, seemed pretty articulate too.
That's a different road. So, you were smiling, giving me wave. They gave me some He's still smiling. Next Thursday.
So what do you hear about this, like, last time I see somebody being muted, I didn't know that the light cut off and I sped up and was getting things up. And, so like, that fear, is it because he's gonna jump out of the car and smash my window and smash my face, or why does that fear me?
She's trying to vibrate and then something else that vibrated after we're surrounded by people vibrate at different levels. And
Another thing actually was talking about fear, and she said it's relates to sowing seeds. So if we hear what she says today, go out and practice it and water it and say something grow, or do we let it fall in the cracks and go, it's like,
So I'm going to the lesson we learned in the children's church. It is,
we all model behavior. And we model our peers.
6 sets. So, starting at a young age, you did 6 sets of lessons, and then you repeated it once. And when you were, as you got older,
Yeah.
Focus on the negative thing. Here, maybe
Made a phone call afterwards and said to
keep it at
the organization that contacted me. It's in Patty's Day, it's green, and I'm on the phone, ready to provide you with all the green you need. And there was great happiness. We got a phone call from another lady, thanking me for being willing to listen to their proposal and all of that. And I sort of on another one. I leave page 3 of the Times
personalities are how you can go. Same way you do.
it is what it is last year, but this year, 2021, where I am working, and luckily the Supreme Court has gone with a ruling, and we didn't see in favor of my dream, where and say, well, if you do this, then this won't be able to happen. I'm told a number of people, well,
It's just amazing
it's
what
a
the
Supreme
Supreme
Court,
Court
they can both do it. And if they do, it'll be an absolutely wonderful thing for people who reside in Vancouver Island.
Are you able to
Victoria.
be curious about that?
Yeah.
You say, this is what I do.
You're aware of my tendency. In that situation, it's a lot of it's a real.
It's a very, very,
Not
very
about
simple.
making that it's like, this is who I am.
I'm trying to acquire.
And then that's not what I
I've been given a role,
accept it.
So just a lightness of the way.
a very stable position to do the
My,
But that's it. That's it. And you're in the moment when you're doing that. You're not trying to like, oh, this is my doing this result.
share all this stuff.
yeah.
I'm a caretaker, millions of dollars.
You know what? You can't totally 100%
Well, really, no, I can't remember mostly I just,
but one of the appreciates chapters, when he's talking about spirituality, when a lot of people
This
think
moment,
really, that's
cards,
for
it's big, because harder than I thought. I was very unsure about it.
You are.
confirm
Are
that
you? Constantly going back to the present moment. So in order to sort of create future and past, that's it. That's it. Ego is like application.
See,
Yeah. Yes. People turn around to the back door, that's hilarious. Yeah. Thank you. We haven't figured out a way yet to correspond with you in real time, but we're on it. Thank you for being here. Okay, so more juicy, rich conversations. I was in on one of them, and yeah, really good stuff. Right on. Okay, so right now it is time to invest in your spiritual center, in the spiritual center that you are. So there are no envelopes. Thank you. We're just going to go get some envelopes because I don't even have one to show you here. There will be envelopes on the silver bowl momentarily. If you feel that you have been spiritually nourished or inspired here today, then we invite you to invest in your spiritual center, which is as much the space as it is yourself, by donating something, whether it's a tithe, a love offering. We are so grateful for whatever it is that you are willing to give. So as the envelopes come upstairs, let's just put our hands on our heart and declare this abundance affirmation together. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive. By joyously contributing to my spiritual center, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. So I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze, and let's just steep ourselves into some more gratitude. Let's allow that infusion of gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness just make its way through every single fiber of our being, knowing that it is a gift and a blessing to be right here, right now. That it is so wonderful to be in community with so many open hearts, minds, and souls, opening up leveling in consciousness, and really just stepping into and leaning into the infinite possibilities of who and what we can become. So I'm grateful to know that whatever contributions are being made today, that they go forth to prosper, to heal, to bless our spiritual center that is the Victoria True Center community, the space, and that is each and every member of the Victoria True Center community as individuals. So for all of the goodness, for all of the greatness, for everything that is coming our way, I simply say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Okay, some announcements. Workshop happening today. I brought some snacks because I wasn't super clear on bring a bag lunch or anything like that. So there is some food, so nobody's going to starve. But yes, we'll have a bit of a break from 12 to 12:30, and then 12:30 to 2:30, a jam-packed Who Do You Think You Are workshop, which is experiential, full of exercises, and yeah, it's going to be a really great opportunity to explore how thoughts, beliefs, and feelings create our reality. Elevate Your Creativity happening this Wednesday with master herbalist and expert forager Megan Edge. We're going to be decorating planters and then planting herbs, and while we're doing all of that, Megan is going to be enlightening us to the medicinal and healing properties of 10 easy to grow common herbs. Save the date, Sunday, April 14th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. right here, the VTC annual general meeting for members only. And I think actually almost everyone in this room is a member. So yeah, we encourage members who are in good standing to come to this meeting so that you can share how it is that your community is growing, and so that you can know what it is that VTC is all about. Membership, well, I just said, almost everyone in the room is a member. If you are not a member and would like to become a member, there are forms on the back table. Prayer requests, if you or someone you know is in need of prayer, then I invite you to fill out one of the prayer request forms, fold it up, put it in the little butterfly box, and the VTC prayer team will pray for you and or yours affirmatively every day. If you're not already on the newsletter list, then there is a sign-up sheet on the back table. Community announcements. Anybody in the community have anything they'd like to share? That's it. All right, so I invite everybody to stand up, and we're going to move on to our last song. Get ready to celebrate. All right, Bob. And you guys are singing the blue. Remember that, okay?
You sing it.
Remember singing the blue.
I celebrate my love right now. I celebrate my love.
I celebrate my love right now. I celebrate my love.
Celebrate my love right now. I celebrate my love.
I celebrate my love right now. I celebrate my love.
Celebrate my joy right now. I celebrate my joy.
Celebrate my joy right now. I celebrate my joy.
I celebrate my joy right now. I celebrate my joy. Celebrate my gift right now. I celebrate my gift.
Celebrate my gift right now. I celebrate my gift.
I celebrate my gift right now. I celebrate my gift.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.